is for all our fans in Clintonville, Ohio, in the Clintonville Energy Co-op. Brian Rice here is a real person who did all the things that we're wanting to do in Clintonville for our members. And we started back in '07 or '06 with a typical residential energy audit and a meeting of the minds in terms of carbon reduction. So we have a 5-ton geosystem, we have a 5-kilowatt solar system with about 3 or 4 days of backup batteries, and then we've got the system programmed so that it can run off the grid during peak periods. So this has been in place now for since '07, and how would you say that went, Brian?
Great. I mean, everything's been working as expected as far as the functionality. The reduced energy is as projected for the most part, and the returns as far as money saved or the return on the investment has been at the same rate as projected.
Great.
And there's been, I could just say, you know, knock on wood, we've had no problems. The maintenance is the same or less as it would be for any type of heating or cooling or any type of, you know, processes you would have in your house. There's no extra work to be done. It's only, you know, one of our other things going into it was we didn't want to sacrifice the luxuries of a modern home in any way. The opposite. Everything we did, we wanted there to be an increase of luxury, an increase of function. And that's definitely been the case. You know, the huge points being the backup battery system, so when power's out, we can get into that more if you want. No condenser outside the backyard, so when we're out in the backyard, there's no rattling noise. I'd say that forced air is not as dry. Mm-hmm. There's a long list of increased luxuries, but they're big ones.
So do you think that affected the sale of the house in a positive way?
It's, I would say yes. You know, there's so many components that go into the sale of a house.
Sure.
Each one is so unique. But we sold it 14 days after it was on the market. And there are comps in the neighborhood, and we sold it for more than that. So it's tough to say, but I can only assume yes.
Oh, great, thanks. Now, what happens when the power goes out? What was your experience when that happened?
It's pretty seamless. You might remember one of the first times it went out, I actually called you because we thought something was wrong with.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because we'd kicked into the auxiliary power or the critical load. So when the power is out, when the grid is not coming into the house anymore, the system automatically goes to the critical load.
Right.
So some things are not working, and Mindy and I, it was so seamless, we thought part of the house wasn't working. Turns out the whole neighborhood was out of power, and we had our backup system running.
Sure.
So it's happened a few times over the 5+ years since we've done it, and I can tell you that the ladies in the neighborhood come here to dry their hair because we're the ones that have the power going still. And it's pretty amazing.
Oh, great. Well, our co-op members in Clintonville are envisioning this kind of model as their ultimate goal. I mean, it's the best of all worlds when it comes to both energy and the environment, and efficiency and production. So it's a great thing, and I think you were way ahead of your time in putting all this together. So I hope that things go well for you in your next housing adventure, and we will be giving you reports on how the Clintonville Co-op does on their future programs, and hoping to be like Brian. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Hi, Clintonville. So this is how the ultimate energy residential system looks like. They don't get better than this. This is a 5-ton ground source heat pump, a geothermal system. In the trade they call it a water to air system. And the pumps here pump the ground source loop fluid through the ground loops, and there's 6 of them in the ground outside the backyard, and pump that fluid through the heat pump here, and it puts heat or cooling into the house, just like a regular furnace would, with about a 400% efficiency. So that also produces hot water, and it's connected through these pipes here to this hot water system right over here. This is a holding tank that takes the water heated by the geothermal system and stores it in a super insulated tank and gets it ready to be heated up by the demand water heater, so that the water here is at 70 degrees when it's on demand instead of 45 or 50 degrees like it usually is in the city of Chicago. So the heat added to it is not nearly as much as it would be if it were just right out of the city water system. Now, going on to the solar array, in the solar system, here is the inverter. This is a hybrid inverter, and quite a number of you are going to get these. It's a Xantrex hybrid inverter, and what it does is it coordinates the solar system and the batteries and the grid together to provide a system that runs either on-grid, off-grid, sells all the power to the grid, charges the batteries, provides power in a power out, and can do peak shaving or come on when the most expensive power is being produced. So there's a lot of money saving and convenience in this. So this is about the size of an inverter that's going to be happening at Janine's house, and it's 2 charge controllers, an inverter, and kind of a combiner power box here that connects to the batteries. Now the auxiliary panel is right here, and in a power out, all the circuits on this auxiliary panel are powered through the inverter by these batteries. Now you can see there's a lot of batteries here. There's 24 2-volt batteries with about a 1400 amp hour capacity. So these batteries can power the house for about 3 days off grid with no additional sunlight. If there is a power out for 3 days and there is additional sunlight, the solar array will add power and recharge these batteries during that period. So it could likely run off grid for 4 or 5 days if necessary. Now this powers the sump pump, the major appliances, the ceiling fans, the refrigerators, a microwave, the kitchen lights, and the bedroom lights, so that when there's a power out, all those items are functional, so that the whole house is really functional. Now one of the most important things in all this is the integration of all these systems, and that was a significant design element when we began this process. All these systems work together. They're all environmental. They're all super efficient, and they provide power when there is no power. So when you add up all those qualities, it adds up to really a state-of-the-art system. Brian was the first person in the whole Chicago area that had a system this sophisticated, and this system actually won an ASHRAE award for its design and implementation. And this is our ultimate goal in Clintonville, to give everyone that wants it the capability to have a system this good. So thanks a lot.